Hi Jordan, good
Hello,
morning.
good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining today's meeting. Unfortunately, our customer service agent Alex won't be able to make it today. So, the purpose of today's discussion is to address the increasing volume of customer complaints related to response time. We are going to identify possible solutions and agree on the best course of action. So let's begin by looking at the process for developing solutions to workplace problems using critical thinking. When we are solving a workplace problem, critical thinking is the key. First, we define the problem clearly and make sure we all understand it. Then, we analyze the problem by gathering relevant data. Once we have the data, we brainstorm and come up with creative ideas. After that, we test those ideas by considering the advantages and the disadvantages. Then evaluate which one of the most effective based on what we need.
Sure.
Finally, we make a decision and put the best solution into action. Let's take a closer look at the problem. Over the past month, we've seen a sharp rise in customer complaints about delayed response times. Our current goal is to respond to a customer within 24 hours, but we are falling short. According to our latest customer service data, only 70% of inquiries are being answered within this time frame. This is causing frustration for customers, and some have even concern to take their business elsewhere.
Sure.
Before we start brainstorming solutions, I want to point out some of the relevant policies and procedures. According to our service levels agreement, we are supposed to respond within 24 hours. Failure to meet this could lead to reputational damage and possibly breach customers' contracts. Also, according to the company's customer service guidelines, we should be improving both response times and customer satisfaction merits. I like to gather your thoughts and input. From your experiences, what do you think are some of the reasons we are failing behind on these responses time, Jordan?
I think one of the main reason is that we are getting lots of inquiry, but we don't have enough staff to handle the volume. Some days there are just too much for one or two for us to manage, especially during the peak hours. I have also noticed that some customers send a follow-up emails, and we end up going back and forth, which waste time. Also, the system we are using outdated, sometimes slow, and make it harder for us to find the information quickly. The process of the looking up customer details and respond to each query could be streamlined if we had better system.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan, for the feedback. Now, let's agree on some criteria for selecting the best solution. Yeah, we want to make sure the solution we choose improves response times within our SLA requirement of 24 hours, if possible, given our current resources, reduces customer frustration and increases satisfaction. Lastly, is easy to implement and doesn't cause significant disruption to the team. Do you agree with these criteria?
Yes, that makes sense. We need something practical. The solution should also be sustainable in the long run, not just quick fix.
That's right. Let's start gathering some options. We can use creative thinking techniques to explore different ideas. To help spark ideas, let's try few techniques. Brainstorming, anything goes, no judgment yet. The five ways technique, asking why repeatedly to get the root cause. Mind mapping, where we visually map out potential solutions. Any initial thoughts on how could we improve the response time, Jordan?
What we could hire more part-time staff during the peak hours that could help us spread the
Yeah.
workload and meet the SLA more constantly. Another idea might be to implement more efficient ticketing system, something that prioritizes that urgent inquiries the first. We could also explore automation, some of that simply respective reflexive inquiry like frequently asked question using Google. Looks like Google Assistant.
Yeah, that's great ideas, Jordan. Let me put a small note on that. I also like the idea of exploring automation. We could look into whether the ticketing system has automation features that could help. What do you think about setting up a process where we respond to simple inquiries first and leave more complex issues for later?
Yeah, I think that could be work, but if we start doing that, we need to make sure customer know that we are prioritizing based on the urgency. We could include an auto response explaining of the process.
Yeah, let's test these ideas by exploring their benefits and drawbacks. Starting with the idea of hiring part time staff. What are the disadvantages and advantages, you think?
The advantage that we would have extra hand during the busy time. The disadvantage that they could add extra cost, and we need to manage the training and onboarding of the new staff, and it could take some time to train them efficiently, so it might not solve the solution of the immediate issue.
Those are fair points, Jordan. What about the ticketing system upgrade? What do you think?
The advantages that could streamline that process and help us manage inquiries more efficiently. The disadvantage could be that cost and time need for implementation and training, and it might not completely solve the problem if we still don't have enough staff to handle the increase of volume of inquiries.
Again, good points all around, Jordan. What about the automation option? Automating simple inquiries?
The benefit that it could free up staff time to and improve response time for respective inquiries. The drawback is that not all the customer might be satisfied with the automated response, especially for more complex issue. But we could always offer an option to escalate to the issue if the customer is not satisfied with the automation response.
Yeah, based on the critical evaluation, it seems like a combination of solution might work best. We could implement a ticketing system with automation for simple inquiries, hire part-time staff during peak hours, and make sure we have clear communication with customers about how we prioritize inquiries. Does that sound like a good approach?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. To address both short term and long term needs, we will need to ensure proper training for part time staff and also communicate the automation process clearly to our customers.
That's right. Before we wrap up, I'd like to gather some feedback on critical thinking process we used today. Jordan, how did you feel about the brainstorming and idea generation?
I think the brainstorming was
Sorry.
helpful because we were able to come up with the variety of the ideas. The critical innovations help us narrow down that practical and the feasible. Feasible. It is good that we didn't just jump into the one solution. We took we took the time and really think through the pros and cons before coming to the something.
That's right. Thank you so much for the feedback, Jordan. I'll take this into account as we move forward with implementing our solution. I think we made a great process today. This progress, let's see how work on a plan to move forward with these actions. Thanks again for your time and input. I'll send out a summary of our discussion and action items after the meeting. Let's aim to have a follow-up meeting in 2 weeks into review progress. Sounds good?
That's good, Manu. Let's hope for the best.
Great. Thanks, Jordan, for
Thank you,
everything.
Manu.
Have a nice day ahead.
You too.
Yeah?
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.